What's up, you absolutely wonderful Magento-loving friends of mine? Joseph here from SwiftOtter with, you guessed it, another Can You Explain It? Prove Your Expert Status question. Coming from you from the beautiful Kansas City area, right here in the heart of the United States. Today, I decided a little bit different look here for this video because it's snowed outside. And so we're actually gearing up for a white Christmas, and I'm pretty stoked about that. So I thought I'd change the ambiance just a little bit here in this video in recognition of said event. I'm pretty excited about it. It's blowing snow. It's freezing cold here. It's actually, for the record, it's about -5 Fahrenheit, -20 Celsius. So it's a little bit of a chilly day. And then it's obviously pretty windy on top of that. The question today that you saw is about the cloud subject. Why are we talking about cloud? Back in mid-November, Adobe merged cloud content into their expert and professional developer tests. In other words, you cannot expect to pass these tests unless you have some level of cloud knowledge. Now, to be really clear, it's not like master level knowledge that you need, but there definitely is some knowledge at that point. So with this, I am so excited about the fact that we are giving out this cloud course for free here on our SwiftOtter YouTube channel. So make sure to go over there, subscribe. We're dropping new videos here quite quickly. The course will be out. I will say this, that it's not going to be out forever on our YouTube channel. So it will be available up until February 1st. And then it will be, of course, we will offer it as a separate offering, but it will for sure be available within the expert and the professional developer courses as well. But it is here on our YouTube channel. Again, feel free to go over there, take a look. Chris Nanninga, big shout out, has done an absolutely fantastic job in pulling this together. All right, wanted to take a look at those of you that passed, that answered this question correctly this week. In fact, it was actually very good results, which is encouraging to me. Take a look here. We see we have a lot of really good answers. I changed from last week. I said I would. We're going to now do a heart for those that are correct with an explanation. Now, we did ask for 2 answers today. Now, one of them, a couple of you got it like half correct, so we'll give you half credit for that. That's why these are split in half, so that that credit is recognized. But great job. Definitely want to call out Jeff as providing a correct answer and a great explanation for that correct answer. It's a really big deal. I appreciate every one of you who gave a correct answer, but it's even more important that we can explain why this is important or why this is a correct answer. So with all that said, we have a final score of 70%. I gave half credits for those of you that got it half correct. So great work on this. Now, let's take a look at the question here of the day. You are reviewing the Magento env YAML file, and you see this code, stage global SCD on command is true. Which 2 benefits will be achieved by removing this instruction? Now, question is, what is SCD on demand? The answer is SCD stands for static content deploy. Now, I guess it was a little verbose to put here in the YAML file, so they just shortened it down, static content deploy. Once you understand that, the question is then, what is it on demand? Well, the idea is to facilitate quickly getting out to production. And maybe a good case for this would be a hot fix, potentially like again, site is down, literally worst case scenario. Past that, and maybe some in development, but ultimately, I mean, Magento does call that out, or Adobe does call that out in their docs. But I just, you should be, or the developers should be building this locally, and so there should never be a need almost ever to do this on demand. I mean, again, in maybe some of the most dire circumstances. Otherwise, it's more or less a shortcut, kind of a cheat, I would say, for not having a good, proper functioning local development environment. And along those lines, I always like to make this shout out, and we haven't done actually a huge amount of publicity around this, but we will be picking it up a little bit more. We have our Den environment, which is actually a fork of Warden. Den provides some really quality, well, it works on the M1 chip for Macs. Very powerful. I use this all the time on my system. It's so easy to spin up, super easy to use. It is fully supported. We, as SwiftOtter, have backed it. It's agency proof. Agencies are using it all over the board, and let's just say some other large organizations are using it as well. I can't necessarily say the name, but yes, other organizations are using it as well. So question is, in this case, what two benefits will be achieved by removing this instruction? Let's look at these answers. Initial page loads after deployment will be significantly faster. Well, 100% correct, because it's no longer trying to rebuild the entire theme on the first page view. Maybe if you have a whole bunch of store views with a different theme for each, and you're only working on one, maybe that would be a time saving. I honestly don't really see that even as being that valuable of a time savings there. So yes, A is for sure correct. Initial page loads after deployment will be significantly faster. The nice thing is, instead of taking the site, so we can do all our deploy first, and then we take the site down, versus basically once the code is live, then we do all this building on the server. It just doesn't add up. The SSL certificate will no longer be self-signed. Again, these actually distractors here are based off of the predication that we might not know what SCD actually stands for. Then we see on C here, errors with the SCD process will be caught during deployment. That is a massive benefit. Why? Because at the end of the day, if there is an error and this static content deployment is happening after the actual code deployment is going live, well, then we are going to take the sites down too, which is what I would say is a worst case of all scenarios. So, anytime we see this SCD on command, unless there is an absolutely fantastic, very powerful, compelling reason over and above any of these concerns that I have brought up here, make sure to remove that out. There's no reason to have that, almost no reason to have that set there. So, congratulations, great work on these practice test. It used to be practice test questions. Prove your expert status. You keep up the great work, and we will see you next week for our final Can You Explain It of the year 2022 as we hurtle into 2023.